Welcome to College in Conversation, the official podcast of Lingfield College. Join me, Matthew Harris, alumnus and host, as I talk to the staff, students and community, showing you exactly what life is like at Lingfield. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of College in Conversation. Now today, I'm a little bit biased, but we're talking about an amazing subject. We're talking about drama, and we're talking about it from the point of view that, yes, it's fantastic if you love acting, if you want to become an actor. Of course, drama is a natural topic, subject to study and to embrace at an extracurricular level. But drama isn't just for actors. There's a huge benefit to taking this subject for every single student. And rather than me continue to go on about that, I will introduce our guest. So we are talking today with Mr. McEwan, who's head of drama here at Senior School. How are you today? You doing good?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good to be here.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And you don't need to sell drama as a subject to me. It was a huge part. It's been a huge part of my life and was here when I attended the school. So I'd love for you to talk about why it's such an important part of the curriculum for every student.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's the key, that there are many students that are very much in the drama camp and they love it, and they're in the productions and you know, like you say, that there are many like you that don't have to be sold on it, but there's also plenty that do it and perhaps they don't realise what they're getting from it. And I think this is a subject that offers something that not many others, maybe sport you could say, offers you in terms of human development. The idea of collaborating regularly and having to communicate in a variety of different ways is really key as well. And I think it's, as a subject, you develop as a student, but also as a human as well. And I don't think enough students are perhaps aware of that. And that's something we want to try and kind of push and change a little bit. And as I say, it's about communicating. It's about working together in different ways, as well as being confident with your own ideas, being able to listen to other people and bring their ideas on board and start to think about working together sort of with a common goal. That happens every lesson and every rehearsal, every production. So you develop these skills week in, week out. And it's not just about the final product, which is about getting up on stage, although that's a fantastic thing and that's a huge part of it. There's so many other skills that you pick up from it. The ability to solve problems and work to a timescale as well. Those kind of things that people don't think about. You think, well, actually, yeah, you've got a certain specific time frame to reach, and you've got to manage it. So those kind of, people call them soft skills, but they're becoming quite hard currency in the job market. That's the way we look at it, because they're the things that are going to make you different from everybody else. Those people that have that confidence, that can stand out, that can communicate well, put their point across, hold themselves well as well. So it's a subject that gives you personal development as well as academic development as well. Yeah, and putting yourself in other people's shoes, whether that's through playing another character or devising a piece on a given topic and learning in a different way is really good. And, developing an emotional intelligence and accessing things that, as you say, other lessons are not designed to do, to think about parts of yourself that other lessons will not make you use or consider. It's such an important part of the topic. And, it's so important in the job market and to develop people as individuals. And I think it's a misconception that you must want to be an actor or love acting to get a lot out of drama. You sort of briefly touched on that already, and we've covered some of the positive impacts of the subject already. So I'd like to ask rather, what are specific employment avenues are out there or opened up to students that really embrace drama or maybe study it at a GCSE or A level? Well, I mean, really, it's a case of almost looking at the other way of what isn't a job that you could go into, really, because we've had students that look at a law background and they're going to law, and of course that's about presentation, that's about working together with a group of people to try and achieve a common goal. Business, the same kind of thing, presenting yourself, creativity, advertising, media, those kind of ideas. So when you start to think of it in those terms, it opens up into pretty much every avenue, really. And obviously the creative industries, you've got within that, you've got, obviously there's performance and acting, but within those areas, you've got different types of acting, voice acting, theatre acting, TV, film, radio, those areas of sort of, again, an extension of media. And then, and then technical theatre as well, where we have, you think about lighting nowadays as well with media, projections and film being used in live theatre more and more, and then technology kind of vamping up to a different level. There's so much that can be done behind the scenes of a theatre production, that there's so many different roles that are now growing and growing, and it's not just about somebody turning on the lights and somebody queuing up the actors' props and things like that. It's so much more, and so therefore it's growing in terms of a need for different people and the types of students that you need coming out of a drama education, whether they be technically minded or creative with a bit of an idea of tech or a bit of both, or the idea that there's somebody who speaks very well and analyses well, but they also can perform. There's so many different skills that you can come out with and be able to go into different areas with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the business side of things is really important from a sort of a boardroom / pitching perspective. I think it's really evident when you see someone that's had some form of drama training, or at least public speaking training, which is linked to drama, when they get up in a room and sell their product, even if the product is worse than someone else who hasn't had that training, I can put my money on the person that's able to stand up there and really sell it with that drama, that creativity, that use of their volume, pitch, pace in their voice and things like that to really enthusiastically sell something. I know where I'm going to be buying my
absolutely. That's what it is, isn't it? It's about selling yourself, selling your product. And there are so many, you come across a lot of people that you see. I always think about the TV show The Apprentice. You get these people that have so-called self-made millionaires, and they've got all these fantastic, this background and this knowledge and degrees and all this, but they can't put them in a room with a group of people, and they can't manage it and get them to present an idea, and they can't do it, and you think, well, these are the things that are the basics, for fundamental in many job areas now.
Absolutely. And you briefly touched on tech and theatre tech and the complexity of tech these days in theatre. It's not just people turning on and off lights. There's projection, there's set design, there's all these different aspects. And I think that segues really nicely into the tech team we have here, which is largely student-led. The team is absolutely fantastic. I mean, one of my duties this year has been down in that drama department when they have their tech club. So I've always, sorry gang, maybe not done as much of my duties as I should have done, because I've gone to talk to your tech team about what they're doing, because they're so both enthusiastic, but they know their stuff. They're very detailed, and I'd really like to encourage students to think about looking into that team and to join that team. And I'd like to ask you, what type of students might be suited to working with that tech team, and what are the benefits of that kind of work and study?
Yeah, that's true. They will talk to anyone who will listen about it. They will. And we pride ourselves on that. The fact that our it's student led and can be to the point where we can do great productions and still be able to have it student led. So we're really pleased with that. And it only relies on students becoming interested in it. And I think we've had, the students that we have, some of them have very much had a sort of background in drama lower down in the school. And then as they've got older, they tend to move more towards the technical side of it. And then there's some that were almost not on the drama radar at all. And then when it gets to sort of year 10, year 9, they start to appear as these techies and start to show their skills. And then there's one or two that, that have been there all along as a techie and have shown their interest from year 7. So students can come from a variety of different kind of levels of experience in that way. And it's those sorts of students that perhaps love the collaboration and the buzz of working together for a production or to put together a piece, but don't necessarily want to stand on the stage and find that idea completely terrifying. And there are many students that love that, because you do get a certain type of buzz from doing a production, and it's a great atmosphere, as it's great. But also I can understand why some people would be terrified of going on stage. So I can understand that. So we've got students that we have, they love that side of it, but they also are happy up in the box. They can do their thing, and if you like to play with bits of tech, we can give you stuff to play with and learn, and then all of a sudden it grows into putting something together, adding it to a piece of theatre, and all of a sudden it's like anything in theatre. It all comes together when you add these different components, and that's the great thing.
The level of the detail is so impressive. I mean, they were talking me through the little Easter eggs they had in their set for Around the World in 80 Days. Little stickers they put on the suitcases or references to different eras in there. And just even if people don't spot it, that level of detail is subconscious with the audience. They just understand that this is not just stuff put out for the sake of it, that there's specificity there. And it was so lovely to see them talk about it, and the success of the productions returning this year was brilliant. But as well as the productions and the extracurricular side of drama, GCSE and A-level drama is it was such an important part of my life when I was at the school. It's a great topic and a fantastic course. And apart from the practical side of it, improving acting skills, what other benefits are there for choosing drama as a qualification at GCSE and A-level? I know we've touched on certain things that you could bring into this question already. We can retouch on those and maybe add some new stuff.
Yeah, well, I think as a subject, certainly at GCSE, it's that, we mentioned some of the soft skills, but you see something develop in drama students that by the time they get to year 11 and year 13 that you don't necessarily see in other students. And people talk about confidence quite a lot, but it's more than that. I think you've got that ability to analyse, that ability to question things and think creatively. It's a subject where you're encouraged to say those things, even if you're wrong, or even if it's not a point that people share. You're encouraged to discuss and open up things rather than kind of black or white binary answers. So I think that's something that students can. I always say, that's something that's going to be different about so many other subjects that you can look at. When you're looking at your timetable for year 10 or year 12, you can think, right, I've got a subject there where I can actually explore in a different way something. And the other thing is it's also a subject that can lead you into different areas, different avenues. We cover historical, cultural context and social history as well. And you mentioned about empathy as well, the idea of putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. Those kind of things, again, you don't necessarily do in the same way with other subjects. I think that's something that people can really, and you see that with students, they really take that, and you'll learn the entire history of a particular time period just because of a play that you're studying about that time period, and it's great to be able to sort of look at, okay, this was written then, but why, and what was the reason for it, and those kind of things are brilliant. And we mentioned as well about the skills that being used in the job market now, and things that the employers are looking for. And I think that for me is the thing that we would probably put above anything else. I mean, there's acting, of course, as part of it, but it's also styles of performance. But the thing that you'll develop the most will be those skills of confidence and ability to analyse and work together, communicate clearly, collaborate. And they're the things that will be the first things that people will look at. And we've had students that have come out of A-level. I think there was one lad 3 or 4 years ago, Billy, who went to Bristol to do a Spanish degree. And he spent the whole of his interview talking about drama, because it just made him more interesting. People wanted to talk to him about it. And that's something I think that's really, it's like the same with sort of creative, with art and music, it's the same. It makes you just a bit more interesting because you've got something to talk about that's different. Yeah, and I think that's something that you can't underestimate as well. When you go out into the big world, you've got something about you that people can get in a different way. Definitely. Yeah,
and the ability to express that passion and enthusiasm to the point where it's understood by another individual. I think drama students are great at that. And you mentioned empathy, and it might almost sound ironically poetic, but I'm going to go with it anyway, is that I reckon a drama student, from the kids that I teach at the stage school that I work at, from my time working as a drama student and as an actor myself, that there's a kindness to people that work in drama that I feel like drama students are the type of kids at the school that will go up to another kid when they're not doing too well and say, are you all right? Are you doing okay? Yeah. I feel like the drama kids are the ones that can spot that have that emotional intelligence and that sense of social responsibility to go up to others and say, are you doing okay? Yeah. Do you want to talk about this? Because I see it when I work with drama students.
What's one thing actually as well, just on that point, is that I've been a teacher for just over a decade, and the sort of head student teams that I've been involved with in the schools I've taught, there's always a drama student in there, one of the head boys or whatever, they've always got that, either a GCSE drama background or an A-level, because, there's confidence, but like you say, there's an empathy, there's an understanding of humans and behaviour, and there's just that kind of that understanding, and I think that's definitely something that's carrying on. We've seen it in the last few years here at Lingfield as well.
Absolutely, and finally, while it's not specific to the subject of the podcast in general, it has been great that we've managed to get audiences back into the school to see the drama students, to put on the shows with things like The Lovely Bones, Around the World in 80 Days. And I know you must have big plans for the shows 22-23. What can we expect in terms of those shows, and why should students want to get involved or come and watch these productions?
Well, it's definitely putting me on the spot, asking me what to expect about the shows. I don't even know myself yet. But yeah, I would say more of the same in what we hope in terms of the way we've been creative about the way we've used the space in the auditorium, and that you mentioned about set and the tech and everything. We want to try and expand that a bit more and try different things as well, push the boundaries a little bit more, and also maybe try a few different styles. We've done a very heavy, quite dark upper school production this year, The Lovely Bones, which we all enjoyed, but maybe we might go with something a bit more comedic in the autumn. We'll see what happens, really. But in terms of the productions themselves, like you say, it's been brilliant to not only have audiences coming to watch this year compared to last year, of course, but also last year we had this sort of bubble situation where the students can mix, and to have that, particularly with the first one with The Lovely Bones, to have that ability for students of all year groups to come together was noticeably kind of euphoric, really, at the end. It was just great to see. And even now I see students in year 8 and year 11 or year 10, that are mixing because they've been together in some form on the productions, and you see it and it carries on all the way through, and that's really nice. And I think if you're thinking about getting involved in a production, that's got to be one of the main things, that you just get to work together in such a kind of unique way with lots of other students and with us teachers as well, and hopefully have a lot of fun as well. And also, as we mentioned before, you don't have to just be a performer. You don't have to do that. You can do. There's a lot of things. We've got a lot of jobs that need doing backstage, on stage. So you can, if you want to get involved and feel that energy, that buzz that we all have, but you don't want to act, then that's fine. We can do that as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for talking to me today, Ms. McEwan. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much for having me.
So now I'm talking to the wonderful Sienna, who not only is a drama scholar, but an academic scholar as well. So a double-edged sword, aren't you, Sienna? What does it feel like to be just so awesome?
Well, I have to split my time between the two things that I enjoy, so it's a little bit difficult at sometimes, but it's also really fun.
That's fantastic. A very good, well done, media-trained answer. Super duper. I'd love to ask you about drama. So why do you enjoy it? What do you get from it? Why is it a subject that stands out for you?
Well, it's something I really enjoy because it's like when I go into a drama lesson, I know I'm going to have fun.
Mm-hmm. And you told me before we started recording that your mum's a drama teacher somewhere else as well, right? So has she always been training you from a young age for drama to be a big part of your life?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And do you like going to the theatre?
Yes, I love going to the theatre.
Can you tell me about a show that you saw that you really enjoyed? It could be recent, could be from years ago. Tell me a theatre highlight.
Well, recently I went to see Anne Juliet.
Oh, fantastic. That's an amazing show. Yeah. What did you think of that?
I really enjoyed it, and I really loved all of the songs in it.
Yeah, it's a pop musical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you have a particular favourite that stood out?
I really liked when they sung at the very beginning. I've forgotten the name of the song.
That's all right, but they started strong is the point you're making.
Yes.
And as we mentioned at the start, you're not just a drama scholar, but an academic scholar. And as part of that, you produce essays. And the essay that you decided to write really caught my eye, especially for this podcast, because it's titled, "Why Are the Performing Arts Such a Big Part of a School's Curriculum?" Now, I'd really like to know, where did the motivation come from to write an essay on that particular topic with that title?
Well, as you already know, one of my hobbies is drama and musical theatre and dancing. And so I thought doing a title like that would be able to combine my passion for theatre and my passion for writing essays.
That's fantastic. And now we're going to get you to read a short section of your essay. And I hope you guys enjoy, because as a year 7, if I wrote this kind of essay, I would be immensely proud. I was still trying to spell words like, cat at that age, Sienna. So I think you should be immensely proud of your work. If you would like to sponsor our podcast, please email marketing@lingfieldcollege.co.uk.
Now I will explain why these subjects are so important. These subjects are extremely important, but many people don't realise it. Lots of people think that the performing arts are just fun lessons where you don't have to do anything and you can just mess around. But it's not like that. There is so much more to these subjects than what people think. Some people think that because in the working world it is very hard to become an actor, you should not bother with the subject. But that is not true, because this section of study is so beneficial and not many people regret learning drama. In fact, loads of people think that we should have more performing arts lessons, plus homework. After asking many students in Year 7, I have discovered that music and drama are very popular subjects because most of the time there is no wrong answer, unless you are doing practical work, and you can have fun whilst having to think outside of the box for clever yet exciting ideas. Therefore, the performing arts are so beneficial. It helps you with your creativity skills. Drama enables many children who perhaps are a little bit less confident than others to speak in front of others effortlessly, and it helps people to be able to say what their opinions are. Everyone should be able to state their opinion without having to stress, because everyone's opinion matters.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to welcoming you back for another conversation at Lingfield College very soon.